Our next presentation is Cryoport, and I'd like to welcome Mark Sawicki, President and CEO, to the stage.
Good afternoon. We're going to turn our attention a little bit from development of these fantastic therapies into enabling technologies and getting them out to your end users. And so, Cryoport's been really focused around building a sustainable and scalable supply chain paradigm for the cell and gene space. So we are a public company. Just forward-looking statements may say something that's forward-looking. So why is Cryoport doing what we're doing? Well, obviously the industry's been really focused around development of these therapies and bringing them out to the market. And to date, the scalability has not been a consideration that's been an extreme issue or something that needs to be considered. However, with the paradigm of new therapies that are coming through, both on the autologous and allogeneic and gene therapy fronts, and the indications that are getting larger and moving into earlier line therapies, the volumetric consideration here is going to become a limiting factor very, very quickly. In fact, we're already seeing it in this space. We're seeing it from a manufacturing capacity constraint, and we're also seeing it starting now with the collection restraints out at the academic and large teaching centers around the U.S., Europe, and elsewhere. So scalability is going to continue to be a significant challenge in the supply chain. So we've been obviously very active in the space over the last 10 years plus. We're supporting almost 700 therapies in the space today, 17 commercial therapies, and we continue to build our infrastructure to be able to enable you to continue to focus around your research and driving these fantastic therapies to market. Cryoport has also been busy. We've been busy building out an infrastructure to be able to support that scalability across the entire supply chain paradigm. We are now what's called an operating holding company consisting of 4 different organizational entities: Cryoport Systems, which has been our historical business; MVE, which manufactures 70% of the world's stainless steel and aluminum cryogenic freezers and shippers; CryoPDP, which is the 3rd largest specialty courier 3PL in the world, which has primarily been focused in Europe, but we're now building other assets in the United States, as well as Cryogene, which is one of the largest biobanking assets in the United States, which has been headquartered out of the Houston site and supports MD Anderson, Baylor College of Medicine, and others. So we've been relentlessly focused around building out the infrastructure to support your paradigms, your therapies, and to enable you to focus on obviously the science, and we're focusing on the efficiency associated with supply chain. So this institutes and expands from our historical logistics consideration, moving both upstream and downstream. And today, our organization can support starting from the collection and cryopreservation side of things, so moving upstream to help the patient engagement, patient accessibility related considerations through all the logistics considerations, storage, fulfillment, secondary labeling, kitting, QP drug product release in Europe, as well as all of the consultancy requirements associated with dealing with supply chain related considerations. And we continue to invest heavily in the space and build out infrastructure to be able to support what you guys need. So if you look at this today, our platform consists of moving from the left to the right, the selection and collection processes through our IntegraCell asset, which just launched earlier this week, through the cryopreservation, our shipping solutions, bioservices, and consulting services. Now we're going to focus on just a couple of highlights for you due to the limited amount of time to give you an understanding where some of these newer launch activity has been and how you could potentially leverage those in your programs, in your commercial activities. So if you look at our overall service offering itself, as we had talked about, so we collect and process. We're able to assemble and do kitting-related activities, both for starting material collection as well as manufacturing and final product distribution. We have a very strong consulting team that can do all the secondary packaging development, cartoning, and being able to help configure for labeling-related considerations and others. The storage, fulfillment, distribution-related considerations, transportation, and then also disposal, as well as what we call chain of compliance, which is all the regulatory considerations around supply chain. So the first area I want to highlight is just very quickly on the cryopreservation side. So we have built out, and we've recently just launched our IntegraCell offering, and this consists of 2 facilities to start, one in Houston, Texas, and the other one's outside of Liège, Belgium. This consists of cryopreservation services through an automated closed process for cryopreservation of leukapheresis materials. Obviously, we can do tech transfer as well as PRD related activities and customize cryopreservation services based on the need of the client themselves. This is fully dovetailed into our other services, so we're able to eliminate entire logistics legs, eliminate redundancies, as well as minimize the product handling considerations. These facilities are being co-localized with our biologistics and biostorage assets to help reduce that risk, to be able to eliminate and drive down cost of goods, and to also truncate the time frame as it relates to material collection to processing. You know, as we're all aware, the faster we get material into the manufacturing environment, obviously it reduces the fatigue and the stress put on those cells. And so this will continue to build out in the coming years. We are currently in process of building facilities in California as well as New Jersey that will also have these competencies. This just shows you just quickly pictures of the 2 facilities that just opened up this quarter. So the Houston, Texas facility is a 5,500 square foot facility on our campus down in Houston, Texas, just south of the medical campuses there. And the second one is in Vierre, which is just outside of Liège, Belgium. And that is a slightly larger 13,000 square foot facility with full PRD capabilities as well. Secondly is our more traditional historical business, shipping systems and packaging. And so we've been very active in addition to optimization to think about scalability as well as performance-related considerations and clinic engagement and clinic experience. And so we've really been focused around developing a couple of different technologies here that have rolled out over the last year or will roll out by the end of this year to facilitate both the gene therapy as well as the cell therapy space. All of these are backstopped by our chain of compliance paradigm, which is we're the only organization in the industry that has this level of scrutiny around the equipment that we manage from a distribution standpoint, including 100% requalification processes, a validated cleaning process, as well as full traceability on all the equipment, as well as the electronics associated with the management of these therapies. In every single piece of data that we've ever collected, we still have full accessibility as well as our clients. And so it's been very, very positive and has driven our compliance and performance in the field down to negligible error rates or failure rates. So we've been very, very successful in that. So we've launched 2 products over the last year. So first of which is the Elite Ultra Cold 28-liter shipper. This is a 144-hour dry ice shipper, which has been custom built with full track and trace technology with a 3-degree standard deviation and 144-hour hold time. So it is best in class in the market. It is being used to support multiple commercial therapy launches and is going to be also supporting others in the coming months. Reception's been extremely positive, and we have a unit out at our booth that you guys are more than welcome to take a look at. The second of which is our next generation cryogenic shipper. We call it our CXHV3. And so this is an evolution of the mushrooms that you've all seen in every clinical site and manufacturing site over the last 10 years. It is a rectilinear shaped shipping system. It is integrated with the full wheel handles. It is stackable, so we can obviously drive better densities from a density management standpoint and restricted space considerations. It's got front-facing handle, which allows you to really roll these things up against walls and other things and provide ease of use. And it has a whole specially engineered enclosure system that radically reduces shock to eliminate risk to your blood bags and your cassettes and other things as you're using from a distribution standpoint. And it is accessible and compatible with all of our soft rack and other accessories which are being heavily used in the market today. Again, it also has a significant amount of flexibility. It has a lower profile than other products in the market. It can go on regional and narrow-body aircraft, so that is a significant benefit. It drives down the logistics costs in the field, and it also provides more flexibility as it relates to distribution paradigms. It also has a best-in-class capacity. It can hold up to 10 cassettes in conjunction with our soft rack systems, which will allow, in many cases, you to use one unit for distribution of therapy versus two, which drives down your cost of goods in addition. And so this is going to be rolling out the end of this year. It will be rolling into multiple commercial therapies next year. We're already actively working on that with multiple clients that we've been working with for a long time. And we anticipate that this will subsume all of our historical inventory over the next 2 to 2.5 years based on its advantages in the field. On the transportation and logistics side, we have also been building on our surface fleet. And so a lot of you say, okay, well, surface fleet, why is that important? There's a lot of infrastructure in place to do distribution. Well, the last mile distribution is one of the biggest pain points as it relates to cell and gene therapy. So we've been building out surface fleet to support that last mile delivery into clinical sites, hospitals, manufacturing sites. They're all Cryoport owned and managed vehicles. They are only being used for cell and gene distribution on a global basis, so you're not going to have them commingled with other products and commodities which are not cell and gene related. All of our staff that manages these are trained in our logistics center, so they understand the equipment that they're managing and the criticality of what is being handled, as well as how to address any issues in the field themselves. And we control the flexibility of it, so they're inherently more flexible as it relates to scheduling, schedule management, and flexibility around the criticality of and the sensitivities associated with the distribution of these therapies in the hospital systems. So this has been rolling out across the US and Europe, and we're just actually putting our first vans into Tokyo as well. On the bioservices side, we have been continuously expanding. We opened our first 2 bioservices facilities in the United States back in 2022, as well as our facility in Clermont-Ferrand and Pont-de-Château, France. The France site has recently expanded to be able to support drug product importation, QP drug product management and release. And in fact, we're supporting our first commercial therapies for gene therapies into Europe as we speak. This will continue to expand out. Our new facility that we've broken ground on to expand our historical facility in Irvine, California, will have full collection, cryopreservation, storage, fulfillment, kitting, secondary labeling, as well as our historical biologistics competency, and a full consultancy group, which also can do full packaging validation-related activities. So looking at the consulting side, this is something that we've seen is extremely critical, in particular in this space where there's a lot of customization required. We have built a very strong cross-functional consulting services team to support all of the activities that are ongoing in supply chain. And so they really dive into any aspect of packaging or transportation-related qualification and validation-related activities on behalf of our clients, as well as custom development of specific packaging configurations. So they do risk assessments, qualification and validation related activities in the field. They go in and they will train the specialty pharmacies and clinical sites around equipment management. They do shipper and package qualification related activities, custom SOPs and documentation, as well as custom packaging accessory design. They're anchored by a very strong project and program management team. We have a very, very strong engineering organization. We design, develop, and manufacture all of our own equipment for all aspects of the cell therapy space, which gives us a unique approach to be able to do customization as well as risk mitigation in the field. We also have a global trade services team that is able to address any regulatory issues around distribution in and out of the United States, Europe, and the UK, as well as Asia, and a very strong data services team based on the fact that we have our own informatics platform. We regularly integrate that platform with third parties through API or other integration-related considerations, and we do a lot of customization around reporting and data management in and out of other third-party systems on an as-needed basis. And so we can integrate on a very simplistic basis for a data push-pull, or we can also actively integrate into any third-party system that you're working with or have developed on your own to be able to pull or push that data in and help integrate it with any of your client-specific data in the field. So to summarize, and right on time here, we've tried to build a comprehensive supply chain platform. We think we've been extremely successful in that space. We're supporting about 70% of the clinical market, a vast majority of the commercial market today, and we'll continue to focus around building out our supply chain competencies so that you don't have to focus and worry about that, providing you best-in-class consolidated supply chain considerations for your clinical and commercial therapies. Thank you very much for your time.